Hey everyone, my name is Wes, and welcome back to another episode of Terror Talk where I discuss creepy clips online. I created this original horror music to add to the video, and I hope you enjoy it. Be sure to leave your own comments, and when you're done watching, check the description if you'd like to listen to my music without the commentary. Now let's get into it and have some fun.
Mark was a college student living in Indiana. His house was quiet and sat next to some woods. During the day, everything felt normal, but at night, the woods made the place feel strange. Behind his house, under the patio, there was a hot tub. That's where everything happened. It was Saturday night, March 29th, around 12:30 a.m. Spring break was ending and school was starting again soon. Mark had his three close friends over, Kyle, Keenan, and Derek. They were spending one last night hanging out. They were in the garage playing pool, blasting music, and drinking.
What do you like to do for spring break? Let me know in the comments below if you're in college or what did you like to do if you're not in college anymore for spring break. And let me know if you have any creepy stories related to spring break or summer vacation or anything like that, because I love to hear other people's scary experiences also.
Everyone was laughing and having fun. It felt like a good night. After a while, Kyle said they should go in the hot tub. It was cold outside, so the warm water sounded even better. Everyone agreed. They got changed into swim trunks, grabbed their drinks, and went into the hot tub. The warm water felt good as they talked, made jokes, and didn't pay attention to the time. Then they heard something. It was the sound of sticks breaking, like footsteps coming from the woods. It didn't sound like an animal, it sounded like a person. They all went quiet and looked around. Keenan tried to calm everyone down and said it was probably nothing. The others laughed, but it was more to stop feeling nervous. They turned the music up louder and tried to keep talking. About 10 minutes later, a man walked out of the woods. He stepped into the light from the patio. He was wearing a long black coat, white sweatpants, and a gaming headset. His eyes were wide, and his face didn't show any feeling. Everyone jumped.
That would be so creepy, wouldn't it? You're just chilling in the jacuzzi with your friends, and then some creeper just walks out of the forest. Like, holy crap. And I really like videos like this because it shows that it's real. And I'm sure that most of the stories that Mr. Nightmare talks about on his channel are real, but at the same time, I feel like probably 30% of them are fake, maybe like 20 to 30%. I don't really know the ratio. But when stories like this are submitted, and there's actually a video with this one uh, too, which is pretty creepy. So, yeah, I mean, wouldn't that be just terrifying if some random creeper just walks out of the woods? Like, dang.
They yelled at him and asked who he was and what he was doing. The man raised his hands and said his name was Seth. He said he was 33 years old and he heard them laughing and wanted to join. The guys just looked at each other, confused. Mark told him to leave, but he didn't listen. Instead, Seth took off his coat, then his shoes, and then his pants. He was now in only his underwear. Then he got into the hot tub. No one knew what to say. Mark pulled out his phone and started recording, not for fun, but because the whole thing felt unreal. This was the footage he captured. They started asking Seth questions, like where he came from and if he knew anyone there. He just kept saying he heard them laughing and wanted to hang out. Then he said something really disturbing. He said he had molested a child. That changed everything, obviously. The guys jumped out of the hot tub and started yelling at him to leave.
Yeah, I feel like at that point, when someone says something like that about doing that to a kid, that it's time to get them the hell out of there. And look at that guy. Doesn't he look off to you? Doesn't he look like there is something mentally wrong in his head? Because it sure looks like that to me. And what would you do in this situation if some random creeper got into your tub, into your jacuzzi, and would you tell him to get out of there immediately, or would you go along with it? Because I'm pretty sure that I would not go along with it because that is just super weird and not normal behavior.
They pulled him out of the water. Seth didn't try to stop them. He just stood there, dripping wet and staring. Then he slowly walked back into the woods without saying anything. The group ran inside and locked all the doors. Some of them laughed nervously, trying to shake it off, but Mark and Kyle didn't feel okay. They felt like it wasn't over. About 15 minutes passed. Kyle said they should go back out to lock the hot tub. Mark said okay. So they got flashlights and stepped outside. That's when Mark saw something next to the hot tub. It was a phone. He picked it up and saw the screen light up. Whatever was on the lock screen made him drop the phone. He didn't say what it was, but it scared him. He said he thought Seth would come back, so they ran inside and told the others. Everyone tried to stay calm. Then they heard a tapping sound on the window. Mark already knew who it was. He opened the curtain, and wouldn't you know it, Seth was standing right there. His face was pale, his eyes were wide open, and he had a creepy smile. He didn't say anything, he didn't move, he just stared. Mark yelled for Kyle. Kyle ran in and called the police. Mark grabbed a bat and went to the front door. He yelled for Seth to leave and take his phone. Seth didn't answer. Instead, he slowly walked around the side of the house. Mark followed a little bit and looked through the patio window. Seth was standing there again, staring inside. Mark told him the cops were coming and that he needed to leave, but Seth didn't move. He just slowly raised his hand and waved once. Then he turned and walked back into the woods. The police arrived a few minutes later. The guys told them everything. The officers searched the woods and found Seth standing alone, just looking toward the house. They arrested him for trespassing, and everyone thought it was over. But Mark didn't feel that way. A few days later, he saw a post on Snapchat from a girl who lived nearby. It was a video. It showed another man, not Seth, trying to break into her house late at night. That's what bothered Mark the most. It meant Seth might not be the only one out there. There could be more. They could be connected. They might not be done.
Yeah, pretty crazy, right? That whole story, and the fact that this happened a few days later with someone completely different, that's what makes it the strangest, isn't it? And I feel like this is a really, truly creepy story because we know that it's real. And, photos are great and everything, but when someone has a video of it, like that guy getting in the hot tub, that just confirms that it is real. I mean, I know it could have been staged and everything like that if you want to get super technical with things about whether it's real or not, but this clearly shows that the evidence of this story is genuine and super creepy that there are people like that that are out there lurking in the woods. And I just think it is so creepy that a few days later something similar happened with someone nearby in the area. So I definitely thought that this was a creepy story. And what do you think about this? Like, do you like the fact that there are photos and videos included in these types of things? Let me know. But I hope you enjoyed my commentary and the music, and I will see you in the next video.